Now, before we jump into the meat and bones of this video, I just want to say everything that I'm going to talk about is my personal opinion. I'm not speaking for you. You will probably have a different opinion from me. This is how I feel currently about Warhammer 40,000. So please take that on before you start commenting and become an Iron Warrior raging in the comment section. Beside that, let's jump in and let's get waffling. Of course, by clicking this video, you've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail, and, you know, it's more or less me going to have a little bit of a rant, as I sometimes do on this channel. I'm probably going to label it as, like, you know, Games Workshop have given up, Games Workshop have gotten lazy, 40k is lazy now, whatever. I'm thinking of titling it. You've already clicked it. Anyway, but this has really come from the reveals the other day with Agents of the Imperium. There's more to go with this, but I want to start with Agents of the Imperium itself, because this is the reason why I'm making this video. So for those of you who don't know, Agents of the Imperium got the big reveal the other day over on the Warhammer community website, which again was a bit odd, you know, no reveal shows or anything like that. I would say there's been hype around this codex now for a few months, because this was the redacted codex that was on that time scale, what all the codex were coming out, you know, in the spring, summer, etc., and this was the redacted one. And what we got from that, I think, and the word I'm going to use here is shambolic, is the reveal of the brand new Inquisitor Cotias model. Firstly, only one new model with this Agents of the Imperium book. There's a whole video to make off that. You've just brought out a brand new codex. You can argue that it's not new because, of course, we had this back in the day with Grey Knights and, you know, the Ministorum and all the agents and stuff like that back in the day. But I'm taking this as a brand new codex. So to release that with one new Inquisitor, I think is really bad when you've got so much to do in the Agents of the Imperium. You could have gone down so many avenues. New Inquisitorial Stormtroopers, other Inquisitors you could have brought to the front and give new sculpts and stuff like that as well. But the sculpt that we got, Inquisitor Cotias, is new, and this has to be one of the worst downgrades I've ever seen in Warhammer 40,000 models. Now, I'm not trying to dig out the sculpt or anything like that. He's probably been set goals and objectives by his senior management. I don't want any hate to go to that individual or individuals. I don't know how many people work on these projects. But if you look at this brand new model, right, it just doesn't have any character. It doesn't feel like Inquisitor Cotias. It just feels like a random power armored figure. There's nothing special. There's nothing that really makes it stand out. Nothing that makes it shine and give it that personality. When you compare it to the old model, that has personality. That looks like a absolute badass Inquisitor model. One of the really weird things about this, because I've been hearing, of course, about the Inquisitor Cotias model for a long time through the Whispers of the Warp, and I thought they would actually go down the road and do it like its old school artwork, you know, with the hammer raised up in the air, and they actually made that the front cover of the new Agents of the Imperium book. Why didn't they go down that road? Why didn't they make the model look absolutely badass like that? The cape and stuff flapping, you know, the little cherubs in the background. He looks like he's about to smite thee down in the Emperor's name. That's what I wanted. That's the personality that they should be bringing to their models, but I don't think they're doing that. I think they've gotten lazy in what they're trying to bring because they think 40k fans will gobble anything up. I'm not doing that anymore, right? If you want my money, because the money that you are charging these days is getting more and more and more, if you want my cash, you gotta have to start putting effort into your models. I'm sorry, the new Inquisitor Cotias model looks shambolic. It looks plain. There's no personality about it. Like, where's all the purity seals wrapped around his legs? Like his little Inquisition, like belly button thing looks like it's just been kit bashed on to hide his beer gut. That's what it feels like to me. It looks so weird. Like the actual sculpt itself is like big old power thighs, as we were saying. It looks like me after a session at Greg's, right? The Adeptus, not RBTs, the Adeptus Diabetes, someone said on stream last night, which made me laugh. I think that's a great take for it. It just looks so strange. His face looks like he's filled out with filler. His hair's grown back now. He's got a new hairline. He'll spin to Turkey, you know, on his weeks off from the Inquisition and stuff. It just doesn't feel like the old Inquisitor Cotias model. It feels like it's a complete different model. Like if they would have come out and say, hey, this is a complete different Inquisitor model, I would have gone, okay, maybe it is and stuff like that. But to say this is Cotias, I think it's a massive, massive downgrade. And again, like I said, I think it's the biggest downgrade I've seen so far with models from Games Workshop. I know one of the other things attached to this was the actual box sets that they released, like the Ordo Malleus, the Xenos, and the Hereticus box sets. A lot of people feel like it was just copy and pasted. There is some cool models in there, like the one from the Blackstone Fortress Navigator that you can get in a certain box set. But all in all, I feel very underwhelmed with these box sets. Again, I'm going back to what I said. I think they could have done so much more with this Agents of the Imperium Codex. Imperial Stormtroopers, new Assassins, new Inquisitors, more redone Inquisitors. This entire release just feels lazy. I'm using the word again. It's just so lazy. There's no effort. I feel like that's been put into there. Like, oh, let's just put this out there. Let's just shove everything out there and hopefully they'll buy it all. And, you know, that is that. That's what this whole thing feels like. And I think this is just one thing in a multiple of things that I've seen so far with 10th edition. You know how I've been feeling about 10th edition so far. I really haven't been enjoying playing the tabletop game. That may change because I know we're about to get this book. I'll put it up in the background right now, the Boarding Action Patrol book, and I'm a huge fan of boarding actions, so maybe that can inspire me to play a little bit more, to get more models on the table, to start painting again, because I've just felt so underwhelmed at playing. I just don't have that get up and go with this edition. I think it's the worst I've ever felt about 40k since I got into Warhammer 40,000. Like, I just feel so uninspired to do anything at the moment. And that normally comes from a place where I am inspired by, and that is the lore, the narrative, and the models. Of course, we've gone over, you know, some of the models and stuff like that, mostly Cotias, but there's been other instances of models which I think have been very, very lazy as well. But I really want to talk about the narrative and the lore side of things. I want to start with the codexes, because when it comes to codexes, especially so in this edition, they have felt like 100% a copy and paste. And for someone who buys these books, not for the rules, for the lore in there, I know you're going to get a general lore across the board and have a few things change, but it's felt like this edition, there's been like one change in the entire book, and it's just completely bizarre to me, because everything that's currently happening in the 40k narrative, there's so many stories, there's so much they can hook into this and go down and tell new stories. We've got the Great Rift, right, ripping the galaxy in half. At the back end of 9th edition, the Lion returned. We got the Lion book. We're all hyped. Oh my god, this is amazing. He's forest walking, you know, popping up everywhere, hitting things on the face. He was fighting Tyranids in the Dark Angel book. We got to get more of that. And it's just been absolute radio silence. I know we're still in this whole Pariah Nexus thing, which I personally think should have been wrapped up by now, because that started towards 8th edition, or should I say the back end of 8th edition, and we're still in it now in 10th edition, which is absolutely bloody bizarre for me. So yeah, the narrative side of things are just not good for 40k. Again, laziness, the copy and pasting of the lore from 9th edition to 10th edition. I know the 8th edition stuff and the 9th edition stuff, there were massive changes. In 9th to 10th, it literally does feel like Control C, Control V. Just copy it over and do that. Sometimes literally negating old lore they just did prior. I did a video about this a couple of months back where they did a White Dwarf magazine and they were doing like chapters, lore and stuff like that. One of the chapters was the the Exorcists, and in that article they confirmed them as Sons of Dawn, and they gave like this massive backstory. It was really cool, it was really awesome. And then a couple of months later they released the 10th edition Space Marine Codex, and it literally said the Exorcists were like unknown, we don't know like where they belong to. I'm like, is the left hand not talking to the right hand? Are the White Dwarf staff literally not sat with, I don't know, like the writer staff of like these narrative books and saying, no, wait, hang on, mate, the Exorcists belong to them, right? Let's try and cross paths here. Let's try and get on the same road and we can do something good. It feels like GW, I always say this on the stream, couldn't run a piss up in a brewery, and the people who are suffering for it are us, the fans. Please don't take this as I'm leaving Warhammer 40,000, because I know someone's going to say that. I've done videos before, like, you know, I'm quitting 40k and going to 30k, quitting 30k, going back to 40k and stuff like that. It's just me being me. I'm just trying to get my frustration out and just speak to you about how I feel about the current state of Warhammer 40,000 in some of the things like the models and the narrative and stuff like that. The things that attract me towards the game. Hopefully, we can get some improvements in this. Better sculpted models, or should I say more personality put into the models, more rule of cool put into the models, more stories, more awesome narrative on the tabletop and stuff like that. That's all I want. I just want to have fun. I want to be excited, Games Workshop. Please, excite me. That's what you're here to do. Excite me, and I'll give you money for that excitement. This is an exchange. If you excite me, you get money. Everyone's happy. I'm smiling, and you've got money in the bank. That's the way it goes. Anyway, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. If you've got any thoughts, feedback, post it down below. Please try and keep it civil down there. You know, don't start arguing and stuff like that. You know, we're not all Iron Warrior losers, as I keep saying. Let's just be nice, civil to each other, and let's just have, you know, a decent conversation about the current state of Warhammer 40,000. If you disagree with me, that's okay. I'm not trying to argue with you. If you're enjoying Warhammer 40,000, everything I've said, and it's complete opposite, good for you. I hope you all the love, all the luck in the world, because you're getting something that I'm not. And I wish I could be you, right? I really do wish I could be you. But until then, see you in a bit. Have a good day, good night, good evening, wherever you're around the world, and bye-bye.